Should the Fuji XH2 be a cinema camera? Let's discuss. Welcome back, my friends. Today we're going to be talking about the XH2 and whether it should be a cinema camera. Now, I know a lot of photographers out there are going to be hating the idea, but please listen to my reasoning. So in order for me to explain to you why the XH series should go into a video-centric category, we need to go back into the whole Fuji lineup. Now, we've got the Fuji XTs, so we've got the XT singles, the XT10s, the XT100s, and we've got the XE series, we've got the XS series new, which I'm going to talk about in a minute, and then we've got the X Pros and the X100s. Now, that's a lot of different lineups there, and a majority of them, if not all of them, are all photography based. You could say that the XT single series is like the best hybrid of the lot of them, which they are, because you've got the XT3 and the XT4. But then Fuji did something else. Fuji came out with the XS10, and I really got baffled by this camera. I just couldn't understand it. You've got the XT30s and the XT20s, and then you've got the XS10. I think somewhere down the line, this lineup has become a little bit muddled. You've got so many different cameras here, and they're all very similar. And I think in order for Fuji to kind of really gain a little bit of the video market, they really need one camera that focuses heavily on video features, and they've got the capabilities to do it. The XT3 and XT4 produce gorgeous video. Even the GFX 100's got gorgeous video as well, the medium format. But I feel like the medium format is sort of more of the higher end professionals who can afford to spend like 10,000 on the camera. It's got ProRES RAW in there, and that's another feature that I think the XH2 should really kind of focus on, is raw video capabilities, the ProRES RAW. There's no excuse not to have it now. Nikon have got it. I mean, if Nikon have got features that you haven't, then you're pretty much left in behind, because they're like the granddad of the whole group and they're barely surviving as it is. Panasonic's got ProRES RAW. When we think about Sony have got ProRES RAW. Canon are very stubborn, and they've sort of got their own market. They've got their own RAW, so they focus on that heavily. When we look at the Sony's got their APS-C lineup, they've got their full frame lineup. That's really where they've kind of like focused in for a lot of people. So if you wanted like the best overall hybrid, you would have went with the A7 III, or whether that's the A7C now, that's up to you. Then you've got the best photography camera, which is the A7R. And then finally, we have the newest and greatest, the A7S III, which is a crazy good camera. Like, it's the perfect workhorse. So I really think Fuji needs to focus on diversifying their camera lineups. We really need to have a sort of photography-based camera. We need to have a hybrid base, and we keep the hybrid base. They've got it in the XT series already. And then they should have a video-centric. And the video is really what's missing. I feel like all the other cameras are pretty good at photography, to be honest with you. What's missing now is that progression, because now when we go back again and we look at all the competitors, we look at Panasonic, for example, they had the GH series, and that was their Micro Four Thirds, and then they introduced the S series. And even in the S series, they had a video-centric camera, they had a photo-centric camera, and they had a hybrid. And it really sort of allows you to look at it and go, okay, well, we've got three different types of cameras and they all do the best at what they do. So Canon sort of did something a little bit different to everyone else. With the R5, they sort of packed in the best features as much as they could into that camera. It's got excellent photography features and excellent video features. So really there is a market there for Fuji to kind of adapt into. And I think the XH2, they even said it themselves, that we need to think about what the XH2 can be, how it can be different from the rest of the cameras. And I'm not saying for them to build like a massive cinema camera, just, you know, something a little cube, something like that, you know, compete a little bit with the Blackmagic cameras. We just need something that sort of like boosts it up. Now, if you imagine, if you're coming into the Fuji game as a hybrid person, so someone who wants to do a bit of photography, someone who wants to do a bit of video, and you buy an XT camera, so an XT4 and XT3, you're thinking, wow, this is great. But then you're thinking, well, I've got to rig it all up and everything like that. And I really wish they had like a sort of just a video-centric side of it. You know, something maybe with great low light capabilities, 4K 120 and stuff like that. I think that's where they could start to differentiate their lineup a little bit. And that really would shake up a lot of people. I know a lot of people buy Fuji because of the photographic capabilities of it and the look of it. And, you know, the main users will be photographers. But I think now that they're starting to capture the hybrid market a lot more, they really need to push the boat a little bit. And I think that will be where they get it. I mean, these cameras can record for ages in 4K, so I don't really see the need for them to build something huge and massive. And I'm pretty sure they use Sony sensors as well. So it's not like these sensors burn up like the Canon ones do. Full size HDMI port. Keep the dials. I love the dials on the Fuji cameras. I can shoot so quickly with them, and I know a lot of people are like, oh, I don't like. They're literally like cinema camera buttons. I really struggle now with a lot of cameras when I try to use them if they don't have the dials, because I just think it's so much easier just to get 800 ISO, change your shutter speed. So yeah, tell me, what do you think? What do you think the XH2 should be? Should it be a video-centric camera, or should it be a hybrid camera? Again, like what can they do with this camera? They've created so many different like hybrid cameras now. And I think like they really need to start diversifying a little bit. And I know a lot of people might not like to hear that, but I really think that's best for the focus of each camera department. We're going to have a more photography based one. We're going to have a hybrid one. We're going to have a video one, and we're going to please the areas of the markets that need to be. And it also helps people like me progress. You know, I'm stuck with the X-T3 now. I'm thinking, well, what's the next best video centric one that they've got? I don't really particularly like the X-T4 in many cases because of again, it's still got the micro HDMI port. The IBIS is clunky on it, and it's pretty much the same as the X-T3. It's only like minor different body parts that have been changed, and that's about it, you know. And they went backwards with the flappy bits on the side ports. So let me know in the comments down below what you think about the Fuji X-H2, what you think it should be. Should it be more photography based? Should it be more video based? You know, we really need to get this discussion going, because it's probably going to come next year, and there is an announcement on January 27th, and I think that will be another GFX camera, and cheaper as well. So maybe that's their video-centric camera. Maybe that's what they're going to be planning on doing. Who knows? Because we know that the GFX has got the ProRES RAW, so maybe they want to push users over there. But I don't really want to have to reinvest in larger lenses and a larger system. That's just long. All right, I'm Alps Lifey. If I don't see ya, peace.